Hi there. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm really glad that you're here. So thank you for taking the time to join me here. I know I so appreciate it because even though we're not here in person, when you practice, when I practice, it really does make a difference in our lives, in the world. So on those days where maybe I'm not feeling like practicing as much, then I know that when I come to my cushion, and you can be in your chair or laying on the floor or whatever, this just works for me, this meditation cushion, but wherever you are, I know that when I come to my cushion, that I know that there's others out there who are also practicing, who might be more expansive, maybe more energized, more optimistic, more joyful in their day. And I know that when I come to my cushion on the days when I'm not feeling that, I know that I'll feel the impact because others are also sitting on their cushion in whatever way they're doing that. Maybe it's a walking meditation. That works too. Perfectly fine. Doesn't matter. And so on those days when I'm feeling really optimistic and energized and expansive, and I sit on my cushion, I know that it spills over and it supports you in those days when you're not, or even on the days when you are. We come together and we support each other in this way. And it so does make a difference. There's lots of research out there, you can Google it, how doing your breath practice, or if you want to call it meditation, really does make a difference in the world. So, you know, they talk about decreases crime rates, all of these things. So if not for yourself, on those days when you're not feeling it for yourself, come to your cushion or your practice for others too. And so thank you for being there, right there, for yourself, for me, for the world. I've taught mindfulness programs and courses and workshops and done individual work for a few decades now. And what I found, which was really interesting to me, I know you never know what's going to stick for people. What seems to really be impactful for people is something called a stop practice, and how they've taken it into their life. And so some of you may know it. If you don't, STOP is an acronym. So when you're feeling charged, when you're feeling either some really strong emotion or a lot of fear, or a charge in some way, you've taken something personally maybe. Generally, if we're feeling a charge, we do take it personally. That's what's going on. And so our nervous system gets hit. Our stress response comes and it triggers and it says there's a threat here. Even if it doesn't feel like a threat. You could have, stubbed your toe on something and your body goes into a stress response because it's trying to find its balance, right? It's trying to assess, is this a threat? Is this life-threatening? Is this a saber-toothed tiger chasing me? So we've evolved over time, but our primal way of assessing our safety in the world is the same. It's the same. So you will get a surge of adrenaline, some cortisol, and what's helpful then is to really bring it back into the present moment, recognize that, assess, is this a threat? Is this life-threatening or not? In this moment, not in the future, in this moment. So you dropped a book on your toe. Oh, it's intense. Your body's going to have all those chemicals that says this is a threat. And then maybe you hold onto your toe and it feels better. And then you tell your body just through that there's not a threat here. It's not life-threatening. You're going to live. And so, but the body and the chemicals, they churn unless we bring mindfulness in to say, no, I'm okay here. And maybe it's still intense, but it's not life-threatening. I'm not in it. I'm actually okay, and I will be okay. And so coming back again and again. So this stop practice helps us to reboot. It's like rebooting our computer. It's like rebooting the body so that all those chemicals go back to normal, those stress hormones, that the body isn't on high alert anymore. It will assess always as it naturally does, but it's not on high alert. And so your nervous system can calm down. It's really helpful, actually. Really, really helpful and really important that we come back to a neutral state. And so one way to do that is this stop practice. So when you feel a charge, when you feel fear or an emotional hit, you stop. In that moment, you stop, you take a breath. Full breath. Let it out through the mouth. That'll help move some of the emotion around it. And then you ask yourself, you go inside, you observe, where did I experience it? So you stop, S, T, take a breath, O, observe what's happening in the body. So you create a bit of objective space, and maybe it was you feel it in your belly. And so you notice, is it tight? Is there a temperature? Is it tingling? What does it feel like? If it was your heart, maybe it's heavy, or maybe it's tight, or maybe it's beating fast. So it's just bringing attention inward. What's happening in your body? How did it receive that stress? And then from that moment, you take a breath, you observe, and then you proceed. Sounds simple enough, right? It can be one of the most transformative things. And what we do is we give ourselves some space. Rather than knee-jerk reaction in the world, we give ourselves some space. So one of the ways to practice that and get pretty proficient at it is to actually get in touch with what's happening inside of us on a regular basis, which is one of the things we do when we come to our practice, right? So I'm going to invite you to come here. I'm going to close my eyes. For me and for most people, if we lower our gaze or close the eyes completely, it will take away information seeking out here, because we want to pay attention to what's going on in our body today. So long, strong spine. Let the shoulders relax. If you have shoulders way up here, yeah, just let them go. Maybe give your body a shake. Maybe you've had a full day or lots of fear coursing through. So just coming here, doesn't matter where you put your hands. You don't have to sit cross-legged. You can lay on the floor, sit in an easy chair. If you have a long spine, that's even better. Maybe you bring your back away from the back of the chair just to engage here. Let your shoulders stack over your hips. Breathe here. And as you breathe in, relax the tongue away from the teeth and feel the entire body open as best you can. Let the belly expand and relax. The mid-belly and the chest expand and relax. And let the chest expand in every direction, so even towards the biceps. So a horizontal breath, as well as the front and back. The shoulders are static. Long spine. And then you let go of all the instruction and you breathe as fully through the body as you're able to. Breathe here. Come to this moment, this breath, observing and feeling. Come to your senses. Feel what it feels like to breathe here, right now, in this moment. Maybe you notice that your belly is expanding and relaxing. Maybe you feel your ribs expand and relax. Or the air through the nostrils. Maybe you feel it on the upper, right beneath your nose. Maybe you feel the air flowing in and out. Maybe it's cool or warm. So anchor your attention on any of those places, either the air through the nostrils, the chest expanding, or the belly, whichever one is more prominent for you, more obvious. Anchor attention there. We're practicing being present so that we don't miss out on everything in our life. We don't go from peak experience to peak experience, meaning we don't go from the highs and the lows in our life and miss out on all the in-betweens. We don't start kindergarten and then forget everything all the way up to grade 12. We actually enjoy every level of growth and of experience in our life. It helps us to live more meaningful and more purposeful lives, just this practice. Coming back when the mind wanders, it's not a problem. The mind may wander a million times, and a million times with kindness. That's the moment of mindfulness, when you've noticed that it's wandered. And then with kindness you bring it back and begin again, as if it's your first breath, first time doing it. Feeling the breath through the body, through the belly, the chest, or the nostrils. And stick to one. Once you've begun, stick to that one. We're training the mind to be here. Our mind is sort of like the squirrels that we see out scurrying around right now. They zip here, they zip there, they're zipping all over the place. They stop, they start, they go. Just being here. Smile at that squirrely mind, hopping from one thought to another. We all do it. Until we bring awareness, mindfulness, greater consciousness to our thinking. Focus on the breath. Let the thoughts dissolve into the background. All the stories we tell ourselves. And maybe it's an experience of pain, physical pain. So it's not that we deny it, we acknowledge it, we turn towards it with our attention, and then we let it too rest in the background so that our entire life is not involved with focusing on pain. We don't deny it, we have great compassion, we do what we need to do to alleviate it, maybe physio or a walk, whatever it is for you. And then we focus on the breath and what's right in front of us. So the thoughts, the physical or emotional discomfort, we've acknowledged it, and then we let it sit with the thoughts in the background. And we let the present moment take center stage. Breathing here, fully. And so just slowly take a deep breath in through the nose, deep breath out through the mouth. Blink the eyes gently open and gaze at the ground in front of you. Taking in all of your environment as you lift your gaze, receive the room. Maybe give yourself a stretch. And why not have an amazing day? Thank you so, so much for being here with me today. I so appreciate it. Take good care.